Yeah, hello, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com playing World of Tanks. The tank is the AC1 Sentinel. This is an Australian Tier 4, I guess it's a medium tank. And the map is Abbey, which is also known as Monastery. This is in the British tech tree. It is one of the few Australian tanks. I don't want to get too much into the history of the tank. This is one of the worst premium tanks you can buy. The only thing good about it is the rapid fire gun. It's slow. It has a top speed of 60, but I've never gotten it to go that fast because it has very poor acceleration. The aim time is horrible. It takes a long time to aim the gun, so you have to be relatively close to the enemy or you have to be aimed in. The armor is nothing special. The handling isn't very good. This is a game that I had a high ping time, so it was really difficult for me to play. You'll have to read in the title to see how many kills or damage that I'm going to do. Off the top of my head, I don't know. But you can start to see that it's starting to behave a little weird because there's an example. Because I had a lot of server lag, the tank was going all over the place. But I am going to get a lot of kills in this game, and it's not the first time I've had to deal with this. Now, the reason why I'm on this side of the map is because I have a fast reload. Don't listen to people who say, heavy tanks go here, light tanks go here. That's just nonsense. It has to do more with your reload time and how fast you are. A heavy tank tends to have a long reload, which means they have to fire and hide. So if you have a long reload, you want to be around a lot of solid objects. If you have a fast reload, you want to be able to flank people, which is why I'm in this location. It's easy to flank people. Now that's the M3 Lee. A lot of people hate the M3 Lee. It was a horrible tank. However, when they released the Grant, which is essentially the same as the M3 Lee, I am a far better player now than I was when I played the M3 Lee. So I actually loved playing the Grant, and I was very good at it. It is a difficult tank to play, but once you learn how to play it, which might be once you're an expert player, I actually enjoyed playing the tank. Okay, so let's see what happens. You'll notice that on that shot, it really looked like I missed the tank. And it said I did damage, so that's happens sometimes. That's why you got to take those wild shots, because there's some leeway between the client and the server. You do want to hit the weak spots. One of the things you're going to notice is that his gun is on the left side, and it's better for him to be on the other side of the rock because he exposes more of his tank in order to shoot at me when he's on this side because of where his gun is. If he were on the other side, he would expose less of his tank and I would only see his gun. The other thing that you might notice is that I did go a little bit too far forward, but this was a heavy lag game, so I wasn't able to position myself. But I'm going to slowly reverse. I moved backwards a little bit to hide my tank more so I can be protected. You'll notice that I shoot, and then I reverse, and then I aim, and then I shoot, and then I reverse, and then I aim. And I also occasionally zoom out to see what's going on with the rest of the game. And I also should remind you, when you're reloading, check your mini-map. You'll notice that I'm moving. I spun my tank when I was aiming at him so that my gun would turn around faster. And I'm going to do it here too. You're going to see my tank is turning so that I can get my frontal armor towards him. And I'm still keeping my frontal armor towards him. And I switched to the gold rounds. I don't know when I made the switch. But I seem to recall that, I was like, another AC1 Sentinel. We're equally matched. I'm going to switch to the gold rounds because I want to give myself an advantage. Excuse me. Score is 10-4. I got 3 kills. I've had this tank, I don't know, for a week or two. Maybe I've played 10 games. I don't know how many games I've played so far. I like every tank, and I don't know how to say it. You know, obviously there's tanks that I really don't like, but I appreciate playing every tank, is the better way to say it. So you'll notice that I missed the shot with the auto-aim. It has to do in part with the distance, how far away the tank is. He is 262 meters, and obviously the maximum is going to be in the 500 range, so he's about halfway, and it has to do with how fast he's moving and how fast the ammo goes through the air. So sometimes I shoot with the auto-aim. Obviously, because I missed, I'm going to take the second shot with the sniper mode. And then I use the auto-aim for the follow-up shot. You got to carefully go down the side, and when you go down the side, hit the reverse so that you go down more slowly. You don't want to speed down the side of that hill. So I got 3 kills, there's 3 tanks left in the game. You can see that the Artie went to A9. He's out on some island over there. I think I didn't even bother. I was like, oh, you know, he's probably going to suicide or something. Now, if you look at our base, you can see that there's a medium tank that is attacking our artillery. And I decided to go back to base to help them out. You can see that the tank really struggles on the hills. It's even it's not that big of a hill. And a Matilda, that's a tough tank. He should have beat me easily.
Enemy is hit. Target acquired. Penetration. Enemy is hit. We've lost the track. Enemy armor is damaged. You're knocked out.
Now, some people might say, why didn't you stay in the sniper mode? And the reason why is because the Matilda could have run away. I could have taken one shot and he could have just ran and hid from me, but I didn't want him to do that. I chase after them. I will change my strategy depending on what the opponent does. He looked like more of a beginner player, so that's why I used the strategy I did. If he had ran away and hid, I would have remained in the sniper mode, and I would have just gone for his turret, and I would have been more careful. But because he didn't, I kept shooting. As long as I'm penetrating, and as long as the strategy is working, keep on doing it. Grab on the auto-aim. So I grabbed on the auto-aim and shot as soon as I could. Keep in mind that the green triangle is not accurate. So often it will say it's green and you'll shoot and you'll miss. And you'll also notice that I came up the hill, and as soon as I got up to the top, I turned my tank so that it has a different angle. So this angle is more likely to get a deflection if he hits the side of my tracks. And it improves the angle. When you hit a tank dead on, you're more likely to penetrate, but if you hit from an angle, you're less likely to penetrate. So you'll notice that as soon as I got up to the top, I did turn my tank. And while my tank is reloading, I use the auto-aim, lock onto that tank, and then I make the adjustments to the angle of my tank while it's reloading, and I'm going to penetrate this guy easily. I'm using the premium rounds. There's no need to use the sharpshooter mode. And you just hold your finger on the button, and as soon as it reloads, it will fire. You'll also notice that as he was moving, I kept turning my tank. And the reason why is because if he kept going around me, my frontal armor would have been facing him the entire time. I would have kept turning my tank so that I would have been pointed at his side armor. My gun would be shooting at his side armor, but he would always see my frontal armor. I'm going to replay it so you can see. So watch when I get to the top how I angle my tank while I'm reloading, And as he advances, I keep my frontal armor aimed right towards his tank.
Target acquired. Penetration. Enemy armor is
Well, I guess it doesn't show a good example, but that's okay. That's the game. I got 5 kills. The score was 15-7. The tank is the AC1 Sentinel. This is a British Tier 4 medium tank. This was, I believe it was Australia's first manufactured tank. Okay, if you have any questions or comments, please post below.